Hello, hello. Howdy, welcome, come on in. Almost forgot you were streaming today. Yeah, it's been so on and off with the construction and stuff, so it makes sense. Hello, hello, hello. They are still doing construction, but I think they're done on our building, so, but they're like now working on the next building over, so I can still, you know, I'm still listening to a bunch of like hammers and saws and shit, but it's not as egregious, so I'm thinking this means that we will be able to transition into normal world again. You know what I'm saying? And I want to reposition the screen slightly. The aesthetic is off. There we go. Okay. You were watching the human evolution vid on YouTube? Hell yeah! I'm hoping that we can kind of... We're just adding the shading now. So, you think you can hear them? Yeah. They're right outside my window. I'm hoping I can finish them up today. And then it'll be all done and nice. I was wondering, I was looking beforehand. And I was questioning on if Sylveon's, or rather Shenrion's eyes are looking too crossed. If I think I do. I think I want one of them slightly further out. So we're gonna do that real quick. Collect. Alright. Scoot you over. Fill you out so you look nice. Okay. Cool. And now let's scoot the eye color over a little bit too. Which I honestly it'd be easier to just redo it. Color. Nice. Ah. Cool. Perfect. And now, if you all don't like my BGM, you get the delightful sounds of construction equipment outside that you can listen to instead. I'm gonna fuse weapons, my layers here, because some of the weapons are fucking, and also all of my Asmion are on a different layer, but I want them all together, so we're gonna fuse them. Then we're going to select our layer with all the colors and such. We're gonna make it, we're gonna section it off. Create a layer mask. How you doing? Doing pretty alright. Work was nothing special. Yeah, okay. And now I've picked my preferred shading color. I'm rolling with a purple this time. Because I want something that kind of looks good with all of them. So, and I think purple's gonna be the one we go with. And now you just fucking go. You know what, actually, we're gonna get rid of all the color, though. I'm gonna hide the color and just work with the line art. Sometimes I like to do that when especially if I'm doing more intense shading. But especially with like very colorful characters like these, it can be nice to allow yourself to just focus on the shape of them as opposed to kind of the color of them as well. You know what I'm saying? And also it kind of makes some things a bit easier as well. So like for example, I don't need to worry about like coloring in like the two-toned hair, and you know sometimes you need to fill bucket it twice. You just go. You just go and have fun and be fun. Twiins reveals she can count past 5. We were all worried. No one was really sure. Kind of like that theory with My Little Pony. It was just like kind of like a fun fan goof, but there was like that fan in that apple Not Apple Bloom. The big sister. The apple one. Applejack. That she couldn't read. That's me. I'm just like Applejack. Nice. Ooh, yeah. I don't want to go crazy with the shading. I don't have a strict time limit today, but I'd like to wrap up at a decent time so then I can eat dinner. You know what I'm saying? I did come home from work though, and then I ate an ungodly amount of Cheetos. Because I was so hungry and they were so tasty. And I was like, it's fine, I need snacks anyway, because I'm gonna be streaming. So, why aren't I healthier? Surely my diet has nothing to do with it. And what is dinner but an ungodly amount of Cheetos? Girl, same. All that sodium hits different after a long day. And I got the best flavor Cheetos. It's the ones they're like jalapeno cheddar and they're like baked or whatever. So there's still Cheeto dust on them, but you definitely get less Cheeto dusty than with normal Cheetos. They're just unbeatable, if you ask me. Oh, so I'm no drama tuber or anything, but I was watching an Alpha Rad video while I was gorging myself on Cheetos. And I didn't finish it, but I guess, well, the title was so intriguing, because it was like the Pokemon controversy, and I was like, oh, do tell. And so, the Pokemon, like, World Battle Tournament thing, like, the real one, of, like, IRL people actually fighting each other, you know, like, in Pokemon, that thing, I guess it's currently going on. And this year they actually decided to check to see if people were hacking, and surprise, surprise, some people were hacking. And the argument, or I guess kind of the discussion around it is, well, if you want to use certain Pokemon, it is a real pain to get them, to train them up, because especially at the world level, like, it's not just one team you're using, you have multiple teams, and it takes a long time and it's very difficult. You know, if you want, you know, to use especially like certain like limited Pokemon, like, you know, if you want to use like Thundurus, you know, there's only certain ways you can get Thundurus legally, and this, that, the other thing, and that's what had people kind of, in a hoot and holler about it. And hoot and holler is perhaps an extreme way of phrasing it. But like, that's kind of the current discussion right now, is it's like, yeah, people are hacking, but also like, that's the best way to get some of these Pokemon. Otherwise it's, you know, it's doing efficiently what would otherwise take 50 hours. And I do recognize that. It's like, yeah, you know, that it can be quite time consuming to train up and level grind, and, you know, even just a normal Pokemon, let alone one that, like, you want, like, a specific kind of stats, like, oh, I want a giant, Gorgeist. You have to figure out how to breed one of those with the EVs you want and all that stuff, and I'm like, so I respect all that is valid, that it is time consuming and hard to do all that, but also I'm like, that's the fucking point of the game? You're a Pokemon trainer? That's what makes using these impressive, rarer Pokemon so noteworthy and impressive. It's why they're rare, because they're good. and it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's like, oh, why can't I just use Landorus for everything? Why do I have to, you know, I want to use Landorus, so I need to do this. I need to transfer it up across multiple games, and that takes multiple days. And then also I need to level grind for it. And so I level grind, and also I need to make sure I train against specific type of Pokemon to get the EVs, and it needs to be level 50, so, and I'm not allowed to use rare candy, so I do, and it's like, yeah, that's what makes it so worth, like, that's the point of the game, is that it's not, you know, oh, who just has unlimited access to all the different things right away and see who can use those the best. Like, the fact that you are expected to gather your own team and train them yourself is the whole fucking point. And so, yeah, I understand crying and being like, this is... The fun part is actually doing the battling. The fun part is actually putting my skills to the test, and, you know, because I think... Because it's the actually engaging in combat that is cool to me. I understand and I recognize that, but that's just not what the fucking game is. You wanted to use Landorus? Oh, but it's hard to get? Yeah, 'cause it's a rare Pokemon. Sorry. They made it that way on purpose. I don't know what to tell you. Don't just use legendaries. If it's too hard to get them. So, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I'm certainly no, like, Pokemon master or anything. But, just kind of hearing that and everything, I'm just like... You all, by hacking, have set a too low bar for yourselves. Oh, but if I can hack it, I can just have all the strongest, best Pokemon right off the bat. Yeah, duh. And it's way harder to do it legit. And you have set that standard upon yourself. There was a time when hacking wasn't an option and people still did it. And you can do it again. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of just what I've been thinking for the 10 minutes since I watched half of that video. Made me imagine people dressing up as Pokemon throwing hands. Part of the thing is that they always check hacking, but they changed how they did it this year. And there were problems with people being traded Pokemon they didn't know were hacked. I did hear about that, and you know, that blows. That's really rough. But I'm gonna say that the point kind of still stands, that it's like, hacked Pokemon aren't allowed, you know? I think, you know, like, that sucks for him, but... And of course this isn't his fault, but it's like... Some other person is the one in the wrong for trading hacked Pokemon anyway. So yeah, that does blow. It is an unfortunate kind of casualty of the whole thing. But also it's like, you know, we can't bend the rules. If you bend the rules, then everyone wants them bent for them, kind of a thing. Oh, but my Pokemon was hacked, but I didn't know. How can you prove that? I'm sure he's not lying. But that's the thing. Somebody else will. So, it has to be a universal. No one gets to be the special standout who gets to defy the rules just because they are, unfortunately, in the crossfire when they didn't think they were. Were you not allowed to use rare candies in Pokemon League? Oh, you might actually be able to. As long as you're training up your Pokemon, like... You could probably use, like, EXP candies, all that stuff. But, you know, the rest of my long-winded example. Howdy, Messiah. Welcome. Come on in. I kind of don't have a consistent light source for this guy. It's sort of everywhere. Whatever. Hang on, let me click on something again. You all got hidden by the music. Let me scoot that over. Okay. Wait, is that considered drama, or did I miss something? With it's drama within the Pokemon sphere, I suppose. But normal people are unaffected. And this is just like the competitive Pokemon sphere as well. If all you care about are like shiny hunting or, you know, some other kind of element to Pokemon, then it doesn't really affect you either. I think I am in the minority for being like, with my stance on being like, yeah, that's too bad. I don't know. Oh, it's too hard to get this Pokemon legit. Then don't. Then don't get it. Like, it's... I understand. I do understand, but that's just... It's clearly not what they're going for. The fact that it's hard is what makes it so impressive and so worthwhile to have. But whatever. Whatever, man. Tis just a thought, I suppose. Howdy. Welcome. Come on in. Your stance is just play the game as intended? Yeah, I know. Real hot take there. Even for competitive. If you want to be a Pokemon master, look, you gotta do it right. I'm sorry. And there are plenty of, like, free versions to do Pokemon battles with your friends or just, like, online without having to actually train up the Pokemon or, you know, do it legit. There's plenty of ways to do that. That's fine. But if it's for a an officially sponsored competitive kind of thing, yeah, then the rules are gonna be different. Great. Okay. I'm kind of trying to decide how I want the light to hit him. My natural inclination is always to, like, shade a nose to one side, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't particularly agree. As someone who has kept up with competitive in the broad strokes, there is some play stupid games, win stupid prizes kinds of things. There is a risk people should expect, but I also think that the whole "this is what Pokemon's about" doesn't apply to getting the best IV, EV, and best Pokemon. No one watches competitive, is invested in competitive for that reason. I mean, I disagree. This is what Pokemon's about doesn't apply to getting the best EVs, IVs, and best Pokemon. That's the entire game. Yeah, like, casually, you don't need to care about those things nearly as much as competitively. But you still can. It is what Pokemon's about. You still win based on having better Pokemon than your opponent, even when you're just playing the normie game. Having better IVs and EVs helps you win the video game. It's the whole point. So we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, I mean, even if you want to play competitively, just no, it makes sense that hacking isn't allowed. It's all the strategy in the metagame. Yeah, and that's the point of the metagame. Is that I mean, the way people are saying it, it sounds like people, well, why can't I just get to have Mewtwo with perfect EVs right off the bat? And also I want Rayquaza with a Mega Stone and perfect IVs and EVs. Just let me play with that. And it's like, yeah, I suppose you could. It just doesn't seem any fun for me. Just hand me all the strong Pokemon, and then I do the math on how they hit the opponent the hardest in combat. Sure, if that's what is fun for you, that is fine. But personally, I see why the Pokemon Company is vetoing that kind of play. And again, like I said, there's plenty of like kind of fan run events. You could easily have your I just get all the strongest Pokemon easy peasy without doing any work to get them. You could have that, absolutely. Like people do online like competitive like just fan done tournament things. Do them all the time. And that's super fun and cool. I guess that's the important thing, is that there are different options for everyone depending on what it is you want. Why did I give him so many belts? Sorry, I was struck by how much I needed to shade these. Yeah, okay. How old were you when you figured out how to draw belt buckles good enough? Were you also in middle school? I think most of us were. Gotta move back up to his torso, I didn't finish that. Do it. Please do it. There we go. Okay. I was in high school. that is the most likely second option, I'd say. Who's the shirtless guy? Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking down. I wasn't paying attention. Welcome, vaguely Rowlet. This is Miasmeon. They are human versions of evolutions if they evolved again. So Flareon evolved into a fire poison type, and thus made Miasmeon here. Yeah, human versions of fake evolutions. Welcome. Give me a shuckle and let us play patty cake. I will say, so my example best Pokemon were the Route 1, you know, Mewtwo and Rayquaza. Because again, I'm not in the competitive sphere. I do still like that, even, you know, ignoring people wanting to hack in Pokemon that are just more difficult to obtain. Because that's the thing. They're hacking, quote unquote cheating, just to like make it slightly easier. Like, they're still, you know, they're not hacking to, you know, give themselves to make the Pokemon unreasonably stronger or something, you know? No one's doing that. So like, that is cool. That, you know, I mean, I also don't see how someone could cheat in that way with Pokemon, but, you know, that's not the problem, which is nice. But I think that's another thing that I like so much about Pokemon especially, and why Pokemon can have these tournaments in a world where other RPGs don't. It's that you gotta make your own team. And we all know about that one person who won with a Pachirisu on their team. And no one expected it to do well. And they won. And so, you know, my Route 1 option of Mewtwo and Rayquaza what may not even necessarily be, you know, you cheat and hack yourself in Rayquaza and Mewtwo and you still lose, would be kind of funny. Boink, boink. Can someone summarize the last 10 minutes for you? We all like Pokemon. The Pokemon Company cracked down on hacked Pokemon in the tournament, and it kind of blows. But I see why it happened, and I agree with Pokemon Company's stance on it. That is a pretty solid summary right there. My friend was talking about the Pachirisu. What's the most cringe drama you've seen in your opinion? Like a movie? Like a drama? Or like IRL, like, oh my gosh, there's drama happening between like fucking over on Spaghetti Tube. One of the YouTubers on Spaghetti Tube, turns out that they've been using buckwheat noodles and they've been lying in their recipes this whole time, kind of a drama. What are you asking about? Internet drama. The most cringe internet drama? Cringe is a hard qualifier, isn't it? Let me hear some good examples. What are all you guys' examples of cringe internet drama? Maybe I can steal one of your options. Because cringe is so... It's tough because it's like... You know, like there's been like, really, this is what we're doing drama about? Like, does that count as cringe? The jelly bean drama? I do not know what that means. There's all fandom discourse that tends to be pretty tiresome. Yeah, I wouldn't call that drama. That's just fandoms doing what they do. Well, to get the obvious out of the way, Ruby ship drama. Oh, you guys all have... See, I was thinking big drama. I was thinking like, oh, Shane Dawson, you know, fucking made inappropriate comments about a little girl. You know, like that was the level of stuff I was thinking about. Y'all have jumped to shallow puddles of drama. I'm gonna say the most cringe drama was, yeah, you know what, that whole Tati, James Charles, Shane Dawson, the drama-geddon of the beauty tuber community, that was pretty cringe. Because it was like watching Shane have an absolute meltdown on Instagram or whatever. He thought he was like some big shot, I don't know, and like everyone jumped to a bunch of conclusions. Every single person involved seems to be a dickhead to some degree. People were treating it so ludicrously seriously when it was effectively like, she was mean to me. Oh no, baby, she was mean to you. that was pretty cringe. That's gonna be my answer. There was a time the beauty tubers were on top of the world. In order to be popular on YouTube, you talked about makeup. And now look at where we are. No one cares. Sneeko drama? Trisha Paytas drama? I don't know who Sneeko is. Whatever the ukulele lady's name is, Miranda sings. See, the thing that blew me away about Miranda making her I'm not a groomer song with her ukulele was, I was just like, Miranda sings still fucking makes content? that ancient crone. Not to be mean, well, I mean, she's kind of a groomer, so who cares? But also her content is hyper cringe anyway. And I always thought she wasn't funny. Like, other people would be like, ha ha ha, Miranda sings, you know, like back when she was popular. And I'd be like, I don't get it. I don't get what people like so much. But yeah, I was just like, she's still kicking? Their eyes are not going to be colored in or shaded because they're a ghost. Yeah, so I thought she had kind of gone the way of the dodo. But I guess not. How's it going? Pretty alright. Pretty alright. I guess in terms of petty stuff, everything surrounding Mr. Beast. Oh yeah, I haven't watched a single thing. I haven't watched a single Mr. Beast video. And at this point, I'm just like, I think I'm good without it. I also, you know, kind of like how I've also never seen Game of Thrones. Sometimes you just gotta be like, sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm just gonna skip on that one. And I turned out for the better for not seeing Game of Thrones. How long have we been going? 30 minutes? Alright, not too bad. 30 minutes and 3 mons down. And I've done, I think, the 2 most complicated ones already, so... Oh, Martian is gonna be kind of a lot, but we'll figure that out. Sneeko, so I'm getting the impression Sneeko just likes Andrew Tate a lot. That is pretty cringe. So, I don't know. Hopefully he gets all that figured out. Hopefully Andrew Tate also, I don't know, falls off the face of the planet. I don't think we really need him kicking around, you know what I'm saying? Nice. Nice sleeve. Every day when I plan on streaming, I'm like, oh, I can talk about that on stream, I can talk about this on stream, and then I start stream, and all the words just leave my squishy little head. Oh, here's something unimportant. I recently cleaned up my bookmarks on my PC, because it was getting too long, and there was a ton that I weren't using. So, I was like, let's just get rid of these. But then they, like, you know, they auto-rearrange themselves, and it's like, now I struggle to find anything. I'm always like, where's my bookmark for Twitch? Oh, it's over here now. Ah! So that's my life right now, is dealing with bookmarks. Told you it wasn't interesting. I don't know what it is about me and almost never watching mainstream stuff. Me neither, but for me, the answer's easy. It's because I don't have TV. Haven't had TV for a long while now. I just watch YouTube instead. So, yeah, just don't really watch. And people, you know, it was really rough. With my previous retail job from a couple years ago, I had a coworker. They always, like, their main form of entertainment was television and movies. And they'd always be like, did you watch this? Have you seen that? Did you watch this? Have you seen that? Because, you know, we would be chit-chatting and stuff. And I'd always be like, no. No, I don't know what you're, no. Go ahead and just tell me about it. To be honest, are we really missing much by not seeing Game of Thrones? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. And all the arguments for it was always like, no, it's so cool. There's like, characters can die. Characters really die. And I'm like, I can just watch Madoka Magica. And there's like, and they have sex. I can look up porn. What I don't need this. Nice. Perfect. Imagine watching TV, Lamau. What's the lore of today? I feel like I did have some interesting, like a hot take or something. No lore, I guess. Nothing exciting. If I think of something later, I'll be like, Layla, here it is, here's the lore. Oh, here's something fun. I wouldn't really call it lore, but this is exciting. So in Project Sekai, you all know that I play Project Sekai, and it's currently the 3rd year anniversary in Japan, the 2nd year over here in the States, and because it's the anniversary, they are giving away like a bunch of gacha tickets, so you can do gacha pulls basically. And I was like, ooh, hell yeah. And so I did a poll today, and I got a 4-star of Nene. Nene is a cute character. I like her a lot. Quite frankly, if you fused Nene, Enna, and Minori together, you'd get me. So, is he wearing tights? Or those yoga pants? You mean Dutchie on here? Those are just normal pirate pants. And then boots. So there you go. Pirate pants also. But yeah, I got Nene, and the exciting part about that is that finally I now have a 4-star of all the characters. It only took 2 years of me playing, because I've been playing since like the beginning of the game, like the first week that it made its way over to the EN side. So hooray! I finally have a 4-star of everybody. The big reason why it took me so long to get a Nene is because, so she's in Wonderland Showtime, and I like Wonderlands a lot. I like their story a lot, and I like the characters a lot, but I haven't given a single shit about basically most of their gachas. Because the way how gachas work in Project Sekai is you pull for outfits. Fancy cards with different outfits. And so, obviously, I'm like, fuck yes, but for Wonderland, since they're the circus kids, a lot of their gachas are, like, kind of gaudy and, well, circusy looking, you know? So it's just not been anything that I've been like, oh yeah, I want that on my team. So I just haven't done nearly as many, like, Wonderland Showtime gachas. As, say, like Night Court, where they mostly get very cool, like, black outfits, which I like a lot. So, which is why I also have, like, 4 Kanades. So yeah, hooray, wahoo. She was the final one I needed. The second to last one was Irie, and I finally got an Irie, like, that was, like, last week? The week before that? So, everything's coming up Twiins. Twiins, question. What, the fuck is the story of Project Sekai, however it's spelled? You got it right. When I saw your video hot take vid, I was caught off guard by the fact that there's a story and a best girl. So, best girl. Nene is spelled N-E-N-E. It's a real name. Thank you, Ruth, by the way. They're all clown gendered. Here. Nene. So the story for Project Sekai, broadly, is about teens in Tokyo, who, with some special powers given to them by Hatsune Miku, work on improving their music. Now, let me kind of break that down a little bit for you. There's not necessarily, like, magic involved, but what it is each of the groups, find a song on their phones called Untitled, and that takes them, it transports them to kind of the virtual world where they can chit-chat with Miku. This is not a normal thing. Nobody knows that other people can do this, which is hilarious, because there are siblings across multiple of the groups, and it's like kind of like that meme of, like, they don't know I'm best friends with Miku. It's that. It's not really explained how that works. Something Vocaloid's power of music. If we dig into that plot, Leonid's story, so that is the band. The band's story is about how they are trying to go pro. They want to be like Bump of Chicken, and Asian Kung Fu Generation. Basically Bocchi the Rock, if you've seen that. So that is what their story is centered around. The More Jump, who are the idols, they are... So 3 of the girls were idols before the start of the main story, but they had quit. They all quit being idols for different reasons. And the final girl, the main girl, she loves idols. And she's specifically a fan of one of her teammates, before she quit. And main girl convinces them all to get back into being an idol, and they all make an idol team together and are independently, doing idol things. So they, like, live stream their, like, stuff and things so that they can be independent, because none of the record labels would, like, take them, kind of a thing. That's their plot. For Vivid Bad Squad, which is the hip-hop kids. The hip-hop kids, so there was a big event, like a big music event. A veritable, Woodstock. That was so awesome and so cool, and one of the kids, like, her dad was in that event. And so what they all want to do is they all want to surpass that big event. They all want to do their own music performance and be just as awesome and amazing as that event was way back when. The protagonist girl specifically is relatively new to street music, but she's got a natural talent to her. That is the most, like kind of chosen hero story of the bunch, where Kohane was already good at singing. Like, she wasn't, like, she knew how to sing, but she's got, like, a special magic touch, which is what makes her the protagonist. Wonderland Showtime's event is one of the more complicated ones. The original plot is just Tsukasa, that's the protagonist boy, trying to get the rest of the circus kids to join him as a troupe in the circus, because he wanted an acting job, because he wants to be an actor, and the circus was the only place that would hire him. But he needed a troupe. They needed to prove that they were good enough to keep their shabby, crappy stage open. And so that's what their plot was about. After that, after the main story, the subsequent kind of adventures with the circus kids have been them working on keeping the circus open, having it not be corrupted by corporate greed, and now they are currently ambassadors for the circus. And I do know that moving forward, we are going to be dealing with the fact that their plans aren't to stay in the circus forever. Tsukasa still wants to be an actor. Rui wants to go off and be a director. Nene wants to go across seas to learn how to perform, in more different ways. And so that's kind of where their plot is going, is we're all friends, we're having so much fun, but, like, can this last forever? What are we gonna do when we're not all acting together anymore? Kind of a thing. And Night Court, that's Sad Team. Sad Team's plot is that Mafuyu, that's one of them, she's depressed. She is depressed. She is, like, crippling depression. Because her mother is kind of abusive, but not necessarily intentionally. She puts too much pressure on Mafuyu. Mafuyu's mom expects a lot out of Mafuyu, and suppresses her musical interests as well. And the main story has Mafuyu, she runs away to her Sekai. She doesn't go back to the real world. She stays in the virtual world with Miku. And the other girls are working on helping her. They did get her to come back out by the end of the main story. Spoiler. But their plot is they want to make music that can help save Mafuyu, because music is the only thing that makes Mafuyu feel something. She doesn't feel anything because she's depressed. So that's the plot. Also, side plot with Night Court is that Mizuki, that's one of them. You may have noticed I refer to them specifically with they, them pronouns. It's the one with pink hair from Night Court. We are not sure what their preferred gender, pronouns are. But it is implied that Mizuki is either... They're gender non-conforming to some degree. So they are either trans, or they are cross-dressing, or they're gender neutral, whatever it is. And their friends don't know. The rest of Night Court do not know about that. However, one of the girls in their team has kind of figured out that something's not quite right, and is basically being like, once you're ready to tell us anything, I'll be there for you, to support you. And so that's a secret bonus plot going on with Night Court, is that Mizuki's special secret is still lingering. When will they tell their friends? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, that's the plot. Hope you enjoyed. Her name is Mafuyu. Okay. They're fucking Japanese names, guys. They are just real fucking names. I already have enough people making fun of me in my YouTube comments. Mafuyu. That's how it's spelled. Because I don't pronounce everything correctly. They're just Japanese names. They are real names in Japan. People can be like, what, your name is Todd? Fucking Todd? It's just a name. They're just real fucking names, bruh. I'm sorry, okay, it's fine. But yeah, Mafuyu is a name. I don't know what it means. All their names mean something. All the idols, they're named after, like, plants. And then, the band members are named after stars, because they have a star theme. And the squad are named after the different seasons. I'm recalling this off of the top of my head, which is why I'm pausing so often. And the circus kids are named after, like, gods and mythical creatures, which is pretty cool. And then Night Chord, so sad team, they're named after times of the day. But it's like dusk, nighttime, midnight, and then that moment before dawn? Todd, ew, I know, right? Who is even named Todd? Probably some loser who keeps re-releasing Skyrim would be named Todd. Excalibur 100 push-ups. Dusk? Yeah, you know, dusk, when the sun sets. Dusk. It's just a time of day. I didn't realize it was a niche time of day. Or are you questioning the time before dawn? Cause that one was like, that does not translate. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Great! Hi, Jordan, welcome! Mafuyu means midwinter. It's true. I don't know why I said it's true, as if I could confidently be like, I knew that. I didn't know that. I think Mafuyu's last name is based off of a time of day. But I don't know about any of their first names, specifically. My favorite, Japanese name is the company near my hometown. It's pronounced Daifuku, and it's spelled Daifuku. Yeah. Japanese is, once you learn, rather, that, Japanese has no variation in how different things are pronounced, it gets easier. Let me explain. Because that was a weird thing to say. I, like the letter I, it is always I. You know, in English, it could be I, or E, or you know, some, like, there's a long I and a short I, or A, it can be A, or, like, long, like A, or, you know, all that kind of jazz. It doesn't work that way in Japanese. It's always the same. Every time you see a letter, it's always pronounced the same way every time. And once you learn that, it can still be hard, but it does help. What you drawing? I'm drawing. It's my evolutions as humans. Here, I'll show you them in color. Wow. Region, Miasmion, Duchion, Antennion, Wushion, Shenrion, Marchion, and Chivalryon. Oops, forgot a thing here. Great. Hey, twins. I'd like to get into digital art. What are the necessities for digital art? A computer. That is truly the only necessity you need. Critter, like my sister, Judgmental Critter, I think she might still, or at least she has used, MS Paint for so much of her art, and it's still great. You don't need an art program in order to get into, digital art, necessarily. You can just use MS Paint. Push comes to shove, a free option is GIMP. Yes, it is called GIMP. GIMP. It is more of a photo editing software. I use it to like edit PNGs sometimes, so I can make transparent PNGs if I need them for a video. But you can do art in GIMP. So that's another free option. For the longest time, I did all of my art with a mouse. I didn't have an art tablet. I did it all with a mouse. And it does take some practice. For the most part, I had to draw everything on paper first, scan it onto my computer, and then I'd be able to follow my line art, more efficiently. But yeah, just to get started, you don't need to spend too much on anything. I do suggest getting Clip Studio Paint. That's what I'm using right now. You'll see it be used quite often, and it's because it's excellent. Yes, GIMP is also a BDSM thing. I don't know why it's called that. It's like gooey something paint. So, I used to use a mouse. I no longer... If you have a mouse, you can't do this. A mouse cannot register sensitivity. My art tablet can. But I did used to use a mouse, because it's all I had. I didn't have an art tablet. Don't jump straight into just using, like, a big $700 art tablet, necessarily. That might be great for you. However, more accessible might be, just getting yourself a tablet. Like a normal, like, Apple Pro tablet. Because you can also get, art programs on a normal tablet. And if you end up finding yourself being like, I'm actually not that into this, for whatever given reason, you can still use it for other things, It's still a tablet that you can, watch YouTube on comfortably, text from, yada yada, all that fun stuff. So it feels like less of a commitment. If you feel that you're worried about, like, oh man, am I even gonna use an art tablet? It's a lot of money to spend on something that I'm not sure I'm gonna, like, use that often. So, starting with just a normal Apple tablet, I believe Apple Pro 2, ? No, that was the Pen 2. Well, go with that instead. And there you go. That is the breakdown of all the things you need to get into digital art. IBS Paint is great if you have a mobile device. Tablets are great, but there's tons of insane artists who use a finger and a phone. Yeah. If you find... Yeah, that's the thing. There's always options. There's no one right way to do anything. Never forget that. So don't ignore... Sometimes I go onto YouTube, and YouTube will recommend these videos that are like... Never do this with your art, or always do this. If you want to improve your art, this is what you need to do. I never click on those. I always tell YouTube that I'm not interested in those, because no one should ever be saying never or always when it comes to art. There are no rules. There are things that are generally smart to follow. I think I might be biased because it's my favorite, but, color theory has helped me a lot in terms of character design. However, you don't need to follow the rules. You don't always need to do that. You don't need to have, oh, I've got a character who's mostly yellow. Okay, and so what do you want their secondary color to be? Well, yellow's complement is blue, so I'm gonna make it blue. You don't have to do that. So yeah, and that's true in all aspects of art. If you prefer doing all your art on a fucking Nintendo DS, there's an artist out there who does that. You've probably seen their little animations on Twitter. And if that's just how you prefer to do it, then good. Do it, man. So, I guess that's the other thing, is don't be afraid to try out different things. Don't feel like you have to do it in one specific way. I should drink some fucking water. It's been like an hour. Oh, the screenless tablets? I could never use those. It just doesn't. My brain and my arm. It's like they start fighting with each other. So yeah, those could not work for me. But plenty of people have made amazing. They textured Gollum in Lord of the Rings. Like his CG skin that looks perfect. They did that with a screenless tablet way back in the fucking 2000s. So clearly they can work. I've had a ping pong back and forth on colored line art so much just because of what other people have told me to do or not do, even though I don't think the suggestions looked good myself. Yeah, colored line art, I think when it looks great, it can look really great. Personally, it just doesn't fly with me. It's just not how, like, my brain works. And I also, so, you know, I put in all this effort, all this line art, and then in order to go in and recolor this, I would either have to do all my line art, like, in purple or something, like, plan ahead, and then lower its opacity and multiply, and set it to multiply. Or, I've seen people go in and, like, you know, for example, here, be like, okay, and now I'm gonna make his line art, gonna make it darker, and so they'll, like, select the line art, and be like, and then I'll just do it that way, and it's, and do the whole thing like that, and I'm like, you're crazy. You are unfathomable. And if that's what works for you, damn it, I lost my color. I need to get my shading color back. If that's what works for you, hey, great. But personally, just not how my brain does. I just do lineless art where I just block in colors with a brush I made. Dude, lineless art can look super fly. It looks nice and professional too. Oh, not that. Okay. It's gotten dark out there in the living room. We're nearly done though. I think colored line art works best when you're going for a soft, warm pastel look. Yeah, my art might be a little too, hard and cool. And I mean that genuinely. For a lineless look. But I get a lot of inspiration from manga. I use manga the most, when it comes to finding inspiration and looking to how other people do things. So, and manga is, wow, black and white. So it makes sense that I'm not, despite color theory being like my favorite element of character design and such, I very rarely actually think about colors when it comes to, like the initial stages of art. And maybe that's also why so many of my characters end up with black and white in their designs. Then, because I'm heavily inspired by Fujisaka and Shiro Miwa, who also use a lot of black and white. Shiro makes sense. He's a mangaka. Fujisaka just has good taste in fashion, I suppose. Hell yeah. Boink. Perfect. I've done that, and then I'd switch off the color later and be like, God, that looks better. Sometimes you gotta do that. The amount of times I've done, like, just to see what it looks like, and to see if I think, like, it's like, that looks pretty solid, do I want to roll with that kind of an idea? The answer was no, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta play around. Do something outside of the ordinary. Waste your time. Hot damn, I did a great job on these legs. Both Shenryon and Antennion, their booties, like, hot shit. They're like the whole thigh situations. It's the best I've ever done that. Always improving. I think we're going to, because it's already a little bit late. Been going for an hour. And I still need to preheat the oven. So, I think we're gonna finish Shenryon, and then come back at another time, probably next Tuesday, and finish up Marchion and Chivalryon, and then also add, like, highlights and shine to them. Yeah. Does anyone have a niche favorite artist? Like, maybe someone you follow on Twitter, not with a lot of followers, but you love their stuff? Ooh, Nakdi. I'm almost confident that is not how that's pronounced. But I'll put their name in chat. And if you search them on YouTube, you should find them. They are Korean, but they have English subtitles for their videos. And they make very pretty stuff. So I like them. For me, the scariest part of drawing is the fear of tracing, because I was using references for art, then I watched a video about someone tracing their art, which made me scared that I'm indirectly tracing others' art. I feel like that might be an irrational fear. You know, as long as you're not actively, like, doing it, then I don't think it's something you need to let yourself worry about too much, you know what I'm saying? But good to be aware of those kinds of things. No one wants to, I mean, fuck, that already hurts the most when, like, you don't even know somebody else has made a thing, and then you do it, and then someone else is like, oh, it's like person's version, and it's like, huh? I think a good example of that is Awkward Zombie. She's hilarious. She makes comics. You may know her best from her ancient Smash Bros comics. But she does comics for all kinds of gaming, and she still uploads every Monday to our website. But she had made a comic about, the joke was, it was Team Fortress 2, and the joke was that, because the sniper has an ability where he can throw a jar of piss at an opponent to, like, stun them or whatever. And the joke was that instead of being yellow, his jar of piss had red in it. And that was the joke, was basically, you need to go see a doctor, brother. And, like, the spy was like, oh no, like, you know, put his hand on his shoulder. And then Katie learned that there was already a comic that was basically exactly like that. And sometimes green minds just think alike. So, both versions are great, if you ask me. Shenryon reminds me of that one dude that was obsessed with Suicune. Yo, he is kind of like Yucine, which is just Suicune rearranged, I think. Well, I mean, if you're gonna draw that, well, it tends to make you a good artist overall. Yeah. Still don't even understand what tracing is, though. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you real quick. Let me grab, here, this'll be fine, okay. Ignore the words. This was a meme I had put on, my Discord. So, tracing is if I went in, and I was like, I really like this art. This is a really fun art. I want to draw it. and literally tracing Katie's lines. This is tracing. Situations where I think tracing is acceptable, literally only if you're making a meme. I traced over Aaron, IRL person Aaron Hansen, in order to make my I can be your angel or devil meme. And I think that is acceptable just because it's just a meme. Like, I'm not saying I invented this format or anything. So that's my opinion. Some could argue that oh, tracing can be a learning tool, and I think tracing just teaches you how to follow lines. That is what tracing does. You're not learning by tracing. You learn by studying. So, that is tracing. Versus if I instead... Let me move that line art over. Get rid of it. Instead, if I referenced Sniper here. And it's like, I want to draw him. Soldier's really in the way. This, what I'm doing right now, this is not tracing. This is referencing. I am not directly over Katie's lines. I'm looking at what she did. I am replicating her art. And if I were going, you know, slower, taking more time with it, it would look better. But this, not tracing. That's all, as much as I'm gonna do. That's the difference. So now you know. Da-da-da. That is a really nice sniper. Katie is good. Anyway, back to Shenryon. Did you post it on Twitter? Oh, the angle or devil meme? Man, I can't remember. I think so. I can post it again. Where am I? What's happened? Oh, I'm a different color now. That's why. I need to get my my purple color back. Great. Some people call that heavily referencing. And that could be an issue if you're posting it online. Yeah, that is the thing. If I, like, wanted to copy, because that's what it is copying. If I wanted to copy Katie's picture, like how I was just doing, and if I did it really well, I think that's fine, but you need to, I think you need to make it clear it's like, I wanted to draw Katie's version of this. I wanted to, here is the original, and also post either a link to the original and basically tell everyone I copied this, or also you could also post the original yourself, along with the thread, just acknowledging that you did not come up with the composition, or the original kind of concept yourself. We're talking about tracing, kind of art etiquette, and what is tracing, what is not tracing, what is referencing, how do you acknowledge when you've heavily referenced or copied an art. I think the easiest way to avoid, kind of worries about that is posting art that that you did on your own with confidence. It is so okay to reference other art. That's what most fan art is. But also be aware that it's like, if you find yourself veering a little too close to the original, maybe you just don't have to post that one. And it can be a great, if you're worried about this sort of thing, it could be a great learning experience. We're not gonna shade his, swoopies, because they're... no, yeah, we are. Never mind. I was gonna say because they're sheer, but I didn't really make them sheer. So that's fine. Oops. Nice. And then the other one. What the fuck are those scuffed drawings? You're gonna have to be slightly more specific. I don't know what you're referring to. I know I'm really swell, but I'm not a mind reader. The spy drawings. I love the scuffed drawings. You think those are scuffed? We must have different words for scuff. Scuff means bad. Sniper looked perfect. And I told you, that's from Awkward Zombie. You should just look her up. Literally Google Awkward Zombie, and you'll have well over 1,000 comics to read at your disposal. Alrighty, cool. Hooray! So, not quite. What do you think about, of Pooh Bear being in the public domain now? I think it sounds fun. I like Pooh. It has to be the version without the shirt, though. That's the difference. I can only see this as being a positive. I like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, so we'll do Marchion and Chivalryon next time. And then also put in, like, shine and stuff on them. Looking pretty solid so far, if I do say so myself. Oh boy, she's gonna have a lot. Making this, like, jumpsuit thing look right, that's gonna be a whole adventure. So yeah, we'll be able to, do all that next time. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. But I gotta get dinner started so I can actually eat. I knew one of you would take it out of context like a weirdo. Like a freak! Yeah. I don't expect the greatest of things coming out of Winnie the Pooh right now, but, I'm sure in due time someone will make a really wholesome and great, like, movie or something. So yeah. That's gonna be it. Adios. Eat your vegetables, drink your water, make smart choices, all that jazz. Adios. Goodbye.